Hello and welcome to the Chicago Tribune's Bear Download Greatness Edition. This is Dan Wiederer. I'm Rich Campbell. We're here on Sunday, the final day of Bears rookie camp. And Dan, this weekend we are really starting to see how the Bears are transitioning to the second year of Mark Trestman's tenure as head coach. And you finally got a roster put together through free agency and the draft, and you have some coaching changes in place. We're starting to see the product come together, and it'll continue over the next few weeks at OTAs.
Yeah, OTAs kick in May 27th, and you mentioned the coaching changes, but there's also some expansion of coaching responsibilities. And you think about Mel Tucker as the defensive coordinator and his opportunity to put more of his stamp on this defense as they go forward. And we heard from Aaron Kromer on Saturday talk about his expanded role as offensive coordinator. He spent a lot of time in 2013 overseeing the offensive line and making that his project. Now he's got a little bit more say, a little bit more reach in the offense, and he's very enthusiastic about being able to blend in with Mark Trestman and figure out where this offense is going. And I think most notably, when you listen to Trestman and Kromer talk, they talk about the ability to not only bring back 11 starters on that side of the ball off an offense that was really good in 2013, but the chance to understand their identity from day one of 2014 going forward. And you get the impression that when the season ended between January and here we are in May, that they've gone through in fine detail to figure out what they do well, what they don't do well, and craft a playbook accordingly.
Right, and that's the benefit of continuity. And in May is the time of year for optimism. And the Bears have reason to have this optimism on both sides of the ball. I think that's really what you want from an offseason. On offense, like we said, the continuity, 11 starters back, a chance to really refine what they do well. And then on defense, some personnel changes and some coaching changes that they feel like will help improve their defense against the run. You put those two things together in a best case scenario, and I think you see why people are excited about this upcoming season.
And the next phase of this, obviously, is you take all these things as a coaching staff that you've talked about and you've envisioned and you've planned for, and then you get players out on the field and you see, does this fit with this particular player? Does this fit with this particular defense? And you can start molding things. It's an experimental time through May and June, and you want to hit the ground running a little bit in training camp to know what your players do well and how they fit well together. That's why I think there's such energy here now. You've got the roster building over, and it's time to get on the field and start putting these pieces together.
Right, specifically on the defensive side, we've heard some coaches talk about moving John Bostic and Kasim Green and Shea McClellan around a little bit, and just to see what they do well in a practice situation in which they're not game planning for anyone. They're really just working on fundamentals and trying to figure out what people do well. That way, when you get to training camp and you're starting to look ahead to week one, you can really hone in on some of these responsibilities. And it's a process that goes through right now, and now it's just the optimism time where you kind of figure out what you have.
Yeah, there's no question. At all four levels of the defense, whether you're talking safeties, cornerbacks, linebackers, and defensive line, there's been turnover, and there's questions on all four of those spots, and it's going to be interesting to watch. You think about Kyle Fuller, the guy they believe so strongly into taking with their first-round pick. He's going to get in a room with Tim Jennings and Charles Tillman and see how he meshes there, and obviously the Bears feel, hey, this is a three-wide receiver league. We're going to be in our sub-packages a lot. Kyle Fuller can play alongside Jennings and Tillman, and they'll go from there. So that's just one of those things that we're going to be looking for when we get out here on May 27th.
Right, I was going to say, we get a chance to exhale a little bit between now and then, but of course the Bears keep rolling, and stay tuned to ChicagoTribune.com for all the Bears coverage through the rest of the offseason on into training camp, which is not that far away. You know, we're looking at, what,
July's
2
right
months?
around the corner.
Oh, geez. All right, for Dan Wiederer, I'm Rich Campbell, and we'll see you next time.